34 leaders in the government, military, and intelligence communities are featured in a new documentary on unidentified anomalous phenomena, or UAPs, also known as UFOs. This includes Secretary of State Marco Rubio.
We've had repeated instances of something operating in the airspace over restricted nuclear facilities, and it's not ours.
If a big UFO came now, we walk outside and over Westminster, there's a spaceship hovering. I wouldn't be in the least bit surprised.
They have both deactivated and activated nuclear weapons with both the United States and Russia.
These are otherworldly things that are performing maneuvers that haven't been seen.
The UAP activity surrounding nuclear weapons is not a historic issue. It's an ongoing issue.
If we were being visited, I'm thinking we'd have something better than fuzzy monochromatic video of objects that apparently reveal themselves only to Navy pilots.
Do you think that it's possible, do you ever entertain the idea that it's possible that we are the only intelligent life in the known universe?
I tend to restrict myself to the galaxy. Right. So I do think it's possible that at the moment there's one civilization in the Milky Way. Wow. And that's us.
I know there's been multiple contact events. Like straight up contact events. One of them is revealed in the film actually, but there are more. There was this several of the people in my film talk about an event that happened at Halleman Air Force Base where two non-human crafts approached the base, one landed, beings walked out and interacted with Air Force officials and CIA officials. And a couple people go on the record talking about that in the film. But there have been other events, I've been told.
How are those beings described?
They were described as tall, slender, humanoid.
I'm sure there are other civilizations out there in the universe because there are 2 trillion galaxies. I just can't believe this hasn't happened in other places. The question is, how often does it happen and how widely spaced are the civilizations? And I think they're very widely spaced. And I think there may be 1 or 2 per galaxy on the average.
How much do you think Elon knows?
Look, I've seen him obviously talk to you about it. I think he knows a lot.
Yeah, me too.
I don't think you get the contracts and the clearances you need to operate in space without some horse trading.
Yeah, when I went to SpaceX, I'm like, motherfucker, you know everything. There's no way you're launching these fucking things into space without them keying you in on exactly what's going on. He's just sly about it.
Well,
he goes, well, if they are aliens, they're certainly all subtle. That's what he says. Like, well, are they really? I don't know, man.
I think it's impossible to operate in space.
Well, first of all, journalists always say, follow the money, follow the money. We physicists say, follow the data. And previously, we didn't have much data to go by except somebody saw something in the sky. What does that mean? Now we have hours of videotape from the United States Navy. We can measure the data from these videotapes. We now know that these objects can travel between Mach 5 and Mach 20, up to 20 times the speed of sound. They can drop 80,000 feet within a matter of a few seconds. Not only that, they can also fly underwater. We have videotapes of, yes, them diving into the oceans and then swimming underwater. Now, we don't have that capability with our rocket ships. Our rocket ships are not maneuverable like that. They can't go between Mach 5 and Mach 20 within a matter of a few seconds. But these objects are now on tape. We have videotapes of these things, and we physicists are now taking them apart frame by frame to analyze what is the state of their technology. And so far, it seems to be beyond anything that we can field with our arsenal.
Another thing that I heard that gave me chills was that someone involved with a recovery interacted with a non-human being that was dying and heard thoughts in his head that said, you humans don't know your full potential. And that was said to me by a very senior, older guy from the intelligence community. And I thought that was pretty incredible.
It's so unbelievably compelling, though, to consider the idea that somewhere out there, there's another civilization that may be even more advanced than us. And This thought of it is just so attractive. It's incredible.
There should be, if civilizations are common, or even slightly common, then there should be civilizations ahead of us.
Yes.
Because there's been so much time.
But wouldn't you want to see what that's like?
Yeah, I mean, we've been
so
around,
compelling.
You imagine the timescales. We've been around as a civilization. Let's give it, say, 40,000 years. I don't know how long our civilization's been around. Let's say that. The galaxy is pretty much as old as the universe. It's 13 billion years worth of time. So the idea that there are no civilizations arose, 100 million years ago, 200 million years ago, 1 billion years ago. And imagine what they'd be like if they'd survived. I mean, we've been around, we've had science for, let's say, since Newton or Copernicus, 500 years at most. And look what we've done. We've gone beyond the solar system with Voyager. We've walked on the moon. We're about to go to Mars, I would think. So we're about to begin colonizing our own solar system. So we've done that in 500 years. So imagine a million years in the future.
The fact that we have high-resolution cameras in our pocket and we take videos of things that are very unusual.
Exactly. So here's video of a magpie doing Bernoulli experiments on a water bottle. Who would have known that even happened, right?
Right.
Okay. You can't bring the bird into a lab and maybe you could, but I don't know that anyone did. All right. Here's my point. In the 1960s and 70s, there were many, many reports of alien abductions. People said, the aliens came to me and they brought me in and then they released me. Do you have any footage? No, they took my camera. Or no, they zapped my film and now there's no image on the film. But there were countless stories. Well, now you can stream live from your camera anything that's going on in front of you. So if the aliens come and they want to abduct you, stream it. That would be instantly viral. Oh my gosh. The stuff that goes viral is much less than that. A kitten that jumps to the table and falls, that goes viral? You don't think a video footage of an alien is not going to go viral instantly? But there's none.
So it's one of the arguments often used to say there aren't any civilizations out there in the galaxy. It's called the Fermi paradox. Because if you imagine a civilization that's a million years ahead of us, they should have written their presence across the sky by now. You should see them. I mean, you'll see us. If we survive a million years into the future, actually even a few thousand years into the future, we will be exploring the galaxy. We will have spacecraft that are going to other stars. We will be doing it. So our signature will become visible, I'm sure.
The more this stuff gets discussed, the more I go back to what Lazar said. Because what Lazar is describing from the 1980s is exactly what these people are saying now. They've had these things. They've been trying to figure them out. They've been working on them. At least in the 1980s, they hadn't totally cracked it yet. But they did know how to operate them and that they would do these tests. But everything was so compartmentalized. He said he wasn't allowed to talk to the metallurgist. There was different people that were assigned to it.
Yeah.
What they were assigned to do was to try to figure out how the propulsion system worked.
Yeah.
And then there was other people that were assigned to try to figure out how the metallurgy was formed.
Yeah.
Because whatever it was seemed like it was 3D printed. It didn't have any seams.
Yeah.
And when he talks about it, it sounds exactly like what people are talking about today, which is really bananas.
Yeah.
Because this is late 1980s, and he's the first guy to crack through with this stuff.
Yeah. Everything is so, in that secret program, everything is so siloed out where you could have one team of defense contractors working on one thing. They're not even told it's from an alien spacecraft. They're just told, here's the thing. It might be Russia. It might be China. Tell us how it works.
Right.
They're just kept in a little bubble.
It used to be that the burden of proof was on the eyewitness accounts. Martha, I see something in the sky. That's not a burden of proof. Now the burden of proof is shifted. Now the military has to prove that these aren't extraterrestrial. And just remember that a Saturn rocket traveling at tremendous velocities would take 70,000 years just to reach the nearby stars. And these objects apparently can navigate between star systems in less than 70,000 years, which means that there's a technology involved here that is beyond anything that we can feel here on the planet Earth. And so this is not proof. We're still analyzing these photographs, but we need more data. And for those of you out there who want to email us scientists about their sightings, we have a word of advice. The next time you are kidnapped by a flying saucer, for God's sake, steal something. A pen, a pencil, a chip, an alien technology, steal anything, because there's no law. There's no law against stealing from an extraterrestrial civilization.
One of the reasons is most of these sightings actually occur far offshore in the ocean. And the speculation is this is one of the ways, no, obviously I'm going to put my tinfoil hat on nice and tight.
Do your thing.
This is one of the ways that they monitor us. The best way to do it is to do it where they're hold their base where no one is around, which is the ocean.
No, that's not true.
So they go in the ocean, they pop up, and they fly out.
It's not true.
What do you mean it's not true?
It's not true. Yeah, nobody lives on the ocean. Yes, that's correct.
In the
but
ocean.
it lives down undersea.
This is what the speculation
Oh, okay.
is.
It lives down
That's
undersea.
why these transmedium devices have been...
Okay.
These transmedium crafts have been observed.
If you are sure we are being visited by
I'm
aliens
not sure.
and you don't actually have really good evidence, then you have to say that. Sure.
Well, you know that...
You have to say that. You have to say, this is really happening, and they're observing us, and they're concealing themselves in this particular way. You have to say that. And so
Right.
that's your way to maintain your alien belief system.
Uncontacted tribes. Like, do you know about the gentleman who was the missionary who visited North Sentinel Island and was killed by the natives? North Sentinel Island, which is a really unusual place because they branched off from Africa 60,000 years ago, and they've been living on this one small island the size of Manhattan. And as well as we know, there's only about 39 of them left, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
And we're not supposed to contact them. Like, people are not supposed. We're supposed to leave them alone, and they're a rare tribe. When they find them in the Amazon, the uncontacted tribes, our initial instinct is back off, leave them alone, leave them alone. Do you think that perhaps the universe, like if there is a civilization that's 1,000,000 times more advanced than us and been around here for millions of years of life as opposed to 250,000, why would they let us know? Like, they look at us dropping bombs on each other and polluting the ocean and sucking all the fish out and putting clouds into the skies of dirt and particles. And why would they look at these crude monkeys? Look at there. They're so far beyond where they need to be before they could join the galactic civilization network or whatever.
It is true. It's an argument that there is an argument as well that technology is so advanced would be difficult for us to detect. I mean, we tend to think of, when you say written across the sky, I suppose it's true. I'm thinking of starships and things like Star Wars, right? Big energy things that you can see the signature of. But actually, it may be that the civilization just becomes a nano civilization, tiny little nanobot, because that's more efficient. It's a better way to do things. So it's possible, I suppose, that there are space probes all over the place that are so small and are so efficient and use so little energy that we just don't see them. I suppose that is possible.
I would think that people would freak out if there was some sort of official narrative of disclosure, but that's sort of been breached, right? The New York Times breached that in 2017.
I think this film is that. I mean, this is 34 credible people putting their reputation and name on the line, which I honestly, Joe, I think it's stronger evidence than any video or photo. These days, you could put a 4K video of a giant craft over Vandenberg, and half the human population will say it's AI or creating some visual effects program. But someone of note putting their name and reputation on the line, their career on the line, the rest of their lives on the line, to say this is what I know to be true. To me, that's the greatest evidence that exists. But I do think, to your point, amnesty is something that's gonna have to be figured out, because while it's hard for anyone to accept letting people off the hook for wrongdoings, right? It does seem like it's in the best interest of the bigger picture.
100%.
Because these people just aren't good. They have no incentive to come forward with what they've learned. And so, to quote Rubio in the film, he says, look, this is not a endeavor to go and punish anyone, but we need to know what they learned.
Right.
And I think he's totally dead on. One of the things I hope the film changes is it makes the scientific community know that this is a valid area of inquiry. This is real. It's a real situation. And there's a ton of problems for the next generation of engineers and scientists to solve, And so hopefully it inspires them and helps us make progress, because there's a lot of progress that could be made here.